Oh, hey, so everybody's been talking about suicide and depression lately, and I thought that I'd throw in my 2 cents, even though it probably doesn't matter, kind of like those water wells that they have at malls. Suicide and depression are kind of like my little brothers because they never leave me alone, and sometimes I wish they were never born. I don't mean to start so heavy, but a couple of months ago, I didn't want to be alive. Every morning, I woke up and I thought to myself that I didn't want to get out of bed, and then I wished I was dead. I did not want to be alive, like not even a little bit. Well, I guess a little bit, that's why I'm not dead now. I'm 100% alive right now. I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't die. These depressing and overall suicidal thoughts would cycle in my brain from every couple of hours to up to every few minutes. Even to this day, every couple of minutes I get sad and question what it is that I'm doing. Why am I here? What does it matter? Does it matter? I just did it at the beginning of this video, no jokes. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm still alive. I'm 100% alive, except for on the inside, that is. I've been ridiculed before for making suicidal jokes, but you know what ironically stopped me from those suicidal thoughts? Was making suicidal jokes about myself. Never other people, usually about me. As ironic as it is, when I felt like doing things to myself, I would say things like, geez, if this pizza man doesn't get here in 30 minutes or less, I'm gonna swallow a whole can of Raid in front of his face. Doing something as simple as that made the complex thought that is suicide nothing more than just a joke to me. When I make it a joke, suicide and depression, to me personally, are nothing more than just jokes that I throw out into the universe. They're no different than when I say everything else I say ever. My friend Lee said recently that comedy is a coping mechanism. And I'm sure somebody said that to her, which put it in her brain, which put it in my brain, and now I just put it in yours. I just gave you a thought, baby. I've learned how to take things at face value. Now I get to judge myself how severe something is because I make a joke about it and take all its power away, or I take it seriously and let it hurt me the way it wants to hurt to me. I took control of my self-destructive tendencies and my depression and saw them as they really are. Arbitrary thoughts. The guy in here is the one that's doing it to me, and I told him, no. Another thing that got me through it is a mantra. Everybody needs a mantra. A man I talk about a lot is a man named Ze Frank, and he wrote a song many years ago that I sang to myself all the time, and I still do whenever I just feel low. It goes a little like this.
Hindsight is 2020. I shouldn't have drank that many. Hindsight is 2020. Stop.
And every time my depression began to take over my thoughts, and every time I started to feel like I wasn't worth it, I sang that song, and for some reason, I just got past it. I just got it, though it only lasts for like a couple minutes, obviously, but it just put me on to the next step. I sang that song so much that one of my coworkers asked me why I literally sang that song 20 times a day, because I needed it. And only that part. It's only like 5 seconds out of a 20-second song. It meant something to me. I needed that song because it reminded me of all the actions that I might have regretted that I've taken, or the actions that I didn't take, where although in 2020 vision, were in the past. And if you ever find yourself with these thoughts like I did, and still do, I ask you that I can't tell you what to do, but I ask you to please question the future. Ask yourself, what might happen tomorrow? What could I make better tomorrow, or next week, or next year? Try to find your coping mechanism. Try to find what your eyes are set on, and never take your eyes off. Keep looking at it. And to this day, every day at 11 p.m., I may lay in my bed and stare at the ceiling alone and think about what could have been or what I want to happen, but I just gotta keep going on. What keeps me going is knowing how good it's gonna feel when I beat this. The day when I'm laying in my bed at 11 p.m. and I stare at the ceiling and I feel good for once and I feel warm knowing that I conquered it all without giving up, I'll be an overwhelming type of happy. That way I'll know that depression is like my little brother, because I moved out and he can't bother me anymore, or he grew up, or whatever. And I truly hope the same for everyone else, because you can achieve that too, as long as you remember.
Hindsight is 2020. I shouldn't have drank that many. Hindsight is 2020. Stop. Little elevators are far too small for me, so I ride the big ones. They're not so fun unless you're OCD and you like buttons. Delta representatives put me in a room with a stranger, but he's no stranger anymore. When I peed, I didn't shut the door. Hindsight is 2020. I shouldn't have drank that many. Hindsight is 2020. Stop.